Why do humans become so emotionally attached to sports teams? Why can a random match completely change someone's mood for the entire day? Why do people scream, celebrate, argue online, or even cry because strangers kicked a ball into a net? Because psychologically, sports were never just sports. One of the deepest reasons humans love sports is because teams slowly become part of people's identity. For many people, their team is connected to childhood memories, family moments, old friendships, their city, their culture, even specific periods of life. So after years, supporting the team no longer feels like watching a game. It feels like watching a part of yourself. That's why fans say, "We won," "We lost," even though they never played. This connects to something called social identity theory, developed by psychologist Henri Tajfel. The idea is simple. Humans naturally build identity through groups. Over time, the brain slowly merges my team with me, which is why insulting someone's team can weirdly feel personal. And there's another reason people rarely notice. Sports give people something emotionally stable in a world where almost everything changes. Friends disappear, people move away, relationships end. Life changes constantly. But the team stays. The same badge, the same colors, the same songs, the same stadium. So psychologically, supporting a team creates continuity. A person may unconsciously feel, everything changed in my life, but this stayed with me. And the human brain deeply values familiarity and emotional stability. And maybe the strangest part about sports fandom is that humans can emotionally benefit from victories they didn't personally achieve. When a team wins, fans suddenly feel happier, more confident, emotionally powerful, sometimes even superior. Psychologists actually have a name for this: basking in reflected glory. Research by psychologist Robert Cialdini found that humans psychologically connect themselves to successful groups to boost self-esteem. That's why after victories, people proudly say, "We destroyed them. We are champions." But after losses, some suddenly switch to, "They played terribly." The brain protects identity. And sports also create emotional connection between people in a very strange way. Many people struggle expressing emotions directly. But sports make emotional bonding easy. Two strangers supporting the same team can instantly celebrate together, hug, scream, or feel emotionally connected without awkwardness. The team becomes a safe emotional bridge between people, which is probably why sports stadiums feel so emotionally powerful. Thousands of strangers suddenly feeling like one group. And the human brain was actually built for this. Ancient humans survived through tribes. Belonging meant safety. Isolation meant danger. So the brain evolved to emotionally attach itself to groups. Today, instead of tribes, people attach themselves to sports teams, countries, online communities, fan bases. But psychologically, the system is still almost the same. The brain still thinks, my group versus their group, which is why sports rivalries become surprisingly emotional. Humans naturally love sides, competition, belonging, shared identity. And sports also give modern humans something that daily life often lacks: emotional stakes. Modern life can feel repetitive. Wake up, study, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. But sports suddenly create tension, anticipation, hope, fear, victory, disappointment. A random match can suddenly feel incredibly important emotionally, even though logically, nothing in survival actually changes. But the human brain evolved around emotional survival missions, protecting tribe, competing, hunting, facing danger. Sports simulate emotional importance in a modern, safe environment, which is why some people genuinely feel empty when seasons end. And then there's unpredictability. The brain becomes highly stimulated by uncertain outcomes. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz discovered that dopamine reacts especially strongly to unpredictable rewards. That's why last-minute goals, penalties, comebacks, dramatic victories feel emotionally addictive. The brain keeps chasing that emotional uncertainty again and again. And maybe one of the most overlooked reasons humans love sports is emotional release. Modern society suppresses emotion constantly. People hide anger, excitement, sadness, aggression, emotional intensity. But sports create a socially accepted emotional explosion. People can scream publicly, cry openly, celebrate wildly, lose emotional control completely without being judged. And psychologically, that emotional release feels deeply satisfying. Humans are also emotionally contagious. That's why one excited crowd can emotionally affect thousands instantly. A stadium becomes one giant synchronized emotional brain, which is why sports atmospheres can feel electric, even for people who don't normally care about sports. And maybe that's the deepest truth about sports. Sports were never really just games. They are modern versions of ancient tribal emotions: belonging, competition, loyalty, status, victory, defeat, shared identity. A safe way for modern humans to experience ancient emotional instincts again. Which is probably why people become so emotionally attached to sports teams without fully realizing why. Because somewhere deep inside the human brain, part of us still thinks we belong to a tribe. And maybe that's why sports will probably never disappear. Because humans were never built to live completely alone. We were built to belong, to feel connected, to stand with a tribe. Even if today that tribe wears jerseys instead of animal skins. So the next time you see people screaming at a match, arguing online over a team, or celebrating like they just survived a war, remember this: part of the human brain is still ancient. And if you enjoy understanding the hidden psychology behind human behavior, there's a lot more the brain still hides from us. So stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.